and welcome to episode 69 of the Eldritch Podblast.
Podblast.
I'm Margaret.
I'm Jack.
And hello.
Hello.
We have the number. It's the number.
Look, okay.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, and we just did half an hour of the Podblast. We let the dog out. He came round. He ripped my headphones out, and I was like, "Oh, I better check it's still recording." I never started. So we had to start again.
Woo!
We missed one episode,
missed one.
and I'm out of practice.
And we have no idea what we're doing.
No idea what's going on.
It's the Wild West out here.
I forget the intro.
Yep.
I forget to record.
I don't know who I am.
But we're here.
Hello.
Welcome back,
Hello,
baby.
Welcome back to the number. The
number 69.
Ow!
Episode 69.
Yeah,
Let's go, baby.
So, hello.
Hello.
How is everyone? Good.
Very good.
Good.
That's fantastic news.
I'm so glad your hemoglobin levels are normal again.
Hemoglobin.
That's
What's a
great.
hemoglobin?
Like blood.
Is that what hemoglobin is?
Mm.
Wow.
Well, I think it's like a part of blood. It's like a
like the nucleus of the blood cell. Or
I don't know.
something.
Yeah, I think it's like a particle in the blood. I don't know. But we're particles in your blood now, so you know.
I am your hemoglobin.
I am your hemoglobin. You're
I am
welcome.
inside your hemoglobin.
You're welcome.
I control your hemoglobin.
And that's all we're going to say.
69!
Yeah! Hello.
Hello.
Thank you guys so much for being so kind to us. As you know, you might not know, we normally upload twice a week. We upload every Monday and Thursday. As you can see, we didn't upload on Monday. That's because our dog Bully wasn't very well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And we just weren't up to recording.
Yeah, we just weren't up for it. I've already told you in depth what was wrong with him.
Yep.
So I don't know if I'm going to tell you again. Dogs are strange. Dogs are strange animals.
Yep.
And we thought it could have been a number of things. We think now that something just really, really spooked him.
Yeah.
On Thursday night last week, or Friday night last week.
Friday night last week, yeah.
We thought, he was like trembling and stuff like that, and we didn't know if he was in pain. We went to the emergency vets on Sunday because it got a little worse. But ever since we've had our minds put at ease, we've calmed down, which in turn has probably made him calm down.
Too. Yeah.
And
I mean, I know Jack says we've already explained it, but he means in the recording that we just did.
We just did.
But, just to give you an idea of what's been going on, he started trembling on Friday night, which is very, very unusual for him. It continued all the way through till Sunday. We took him to an emergency vet, and they said physically he's fine.
Yeah.
Thank God. Nothing's wrong with him physically that he could see. They could have run blood tests and kidney tests and stuff, but he said there's really no point.
He said he doesn't think that's necessary.
Yeah, we showed him videos of what he looked like when he was trembling, and he was panting a lot and pacing, and it was just very uncomfortable.
He just seemed really stressed and upset.
Yeah, which is very unusual for him.
Yeah,
like,
I
can't stress how unusual that is for him.
The chillest dog.
Yeah, and he's nearly 10.
Yeah.
He's 10 on New Year's Eve. He's getting on. So there's all sorts. He's getting blind in one eye.
Yeah.
He's losing his hearing a little bit. So the vet said that it could be a sign that he could potentially be having seizures. So to look out for that.
They did say that was the lowest.
The lowest chance
of things that could happen.
But still scary to hear that. And he just said there's a chance he could just have some doggy dementia. Which I think could be the case.
But I think, after the vet, like, we looked at doggy dementia, and that seemed absolutely like what it was.
What was going on?
As the days have gone on since then, and since, he's down, it was all about downstairs. Like, he didn't want to be downstairs. Always wanted to be upstairs. Came downstairs. That's when the trembling started. He was near the office. That's when the trembling started. But when we were upstairs, he was fine. When we were out the house, he was fine. So just by process of elimination, I think we started to realize that there was something that upset him.
Yeah,
like,
something happened.
Really, really, like, almost, I would say, traumatized him.
Yeah, because the only other time we had ever seen him tremble like that was when he hates getting the bath. He hates a bath. He has to have a bath.
Doesn't like a bath.
Listen, he has to have a bath sometimes.
He's a stinky man.
He smells. So he hates the bath, and we were running the bath for not to wash him.
Not to wash him.
And he heard it, and he panicked and started trembling.
Like shaking like a leaf.
That's the only time he's ever done that. And that's what we had been seeing from Friday.
Yeah.
So we were just really worried about him.
Yeah, because dogs can tremble because of pain. They can pant because of pain. So we just wanted to make sure that wasn't it. The vet pretty much like told us like
that he doesn't think he's in
doesn't
pain.
seem he's in pain. So we think it was either dementia, early signs of a seizure, or something had just
spadooked him.
I swore no. Something spadooked him really badly. And as the days go on, we've got a pheromone thing that sort of releases happy vibes for the dog, which the vet and one of our friends told us to get. And I don't know, he seems way more chill.
Last night was the first whole day he had not trembled.
Didn't have a tremble,
and he seemed like okay in himself. And
we like normally because he licks himself, because he spins on his bum and like absolutely like he spins on his bum to the point where he like makes it bleed. Licks himself to the point where he makes himself bleed. Eats anything he can find.
Anything.
We have to like really restrict where he can go in the house when we're not there.
Yeah.
So we took all of those restrictions away because he likes to be in the bedroom. We set up a little camera for him so we could keep an eye on him. And really, when we did that and we allowed him to go where he wants, maybe when he starts to get a little upset being down here.
Yeah, it really, really helped him.
Completely changed him.
And we spent a whole day upstairs with him.
Yeah.
We literally stayed in the bedroom like the whole day just because that was the only place he was comfortable.
He wanted to be, yeah.
And now, obviously, we're filming downstairs and we were really worried about filming, but he's fine.
He seems to be fine.
He spent
a lot of time downstairs yesterday, but today he spent...
pretty much all day,
the whole day downstairs.
Yeah, with us so far, and he's just asleep and he's fine. So
the fingers are crossed that it is over.
Yes,
but
whatever it was,
we'll keep an eye on him.
Yep.
as we do.
Yeah, but thank you for giving us the time, the space. Thank you so much for all of your kind comments.
Yeah,
we really appreciate. We knew no one would have a problem with it. But it's, the fact that you guys went out of your way to be like, take your time and look after yourselves. And thank you. We
people
really
in the
appreciate
Discord,
that.
people on the community post, just people on the videos.
Yeah.
All of you were so wonderful about it. It made us feel really great about it. So
it's really nice to know that if for whatever reason we need to take an episode or a couple of episodes off, you're fine with it.
Yeah.
And we knew we would be. But thank you.
We're back.
We're back.
We're here.
We're here. Don't know what. Don't know.
Yeah, don't know. Could be a homebrew challenge. We don't know. Let's just
get something
Let's
out.
just turn the camera on. Let's get some stories together. Let's tell them what's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's been good.
And if for whatever reason we have to cut this short, just know it's just because the dog got upset and obviously, we're
taking care of him.
Yeah.
But, we're chilling.
Yeah. Well, what we did mention before was, we bought Baldur's Gate. We finally got Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
That's when everything started to happen with the dog.
So we haven't been able to play it.
We have literally gotten up to the point where you meet Karlach.
Yeah, so we've got...
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's as far as we've
played.
gone.
We haven't played very long.
I'm a
wild magic sorcerer.
I'm a vengeance paladin.
We think we're going to have Karlach.
Yep.
And we think we're going to have Gale.
Listen, I like Gale.
Gale's cool.
I like Gale. I like what he's about.
People who don't like Gale, you just think he's cool.
Yeah. Abby. Abigail.
Is that why? Abigail?
Abigail. Oh my god, that's your ship name.
Confirmed.
But yeah, I love Gale. I love what he's about. I love his personality. He's a bit cheeky, and he's a bit fun, and he's a bit sweet. And so is Karlach, so I have my options open.
But
Astarion? Yes. I like Astarion.
Of course I like Astarion. Who doesn't like Astarion?
I'm the type of person in games where I like to do the nice thing all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad if I do bad things.
Yeah, but we might do a bad people run.
Yeah, like a dark edge run.
You know what? Me and Margaret are very much people who we associate like things that happen and what we're doing at the time.
Events with things.
Yeah, so like when the dog was really ill at Christmas last year, like he ate the tree while we were out for 2 hours at my parents' house. And, he was sick for ages. So for like 6 months after that, Christmas was the worst holiday on earth, and we never wanted Christmas to happen ever again. So at the minute, because that all happened while we were playing Baldur's Gate, twice when we were trying to play Baldur's Gate, I don't know how much we're going to play Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
We just spent the money to buy Baldur's Gate.
Don't really fancy it right now.
And we don't really fancy it right now.
Yeah.
We'll probably fancy it in the future when, everything's back to normal. But World of Warcraft just announced 10.2.
Yeah.
And 10.2 looks amazing.
Really
We're
good.
probably going to get back into WoW and play that.
Yeah. So we'll play Baldur's Gate properly at some point. But right now, it's probably enough from me, honestly.
Right now, sadly, it's just enough from us.
Such a shame.
Yeah.
But you know,
but it's there.
The time off we've had, we have had time to actually like sit down and watch things, which we haven't done in so long.
No.
I can't remember the last time we watched so many things. I have a list.
We've got a list.
We've already gone through the list.
We've already been through the list, but we'll go through it again.
We have a list of
I
things
wasn't
we've
recording,
watched.
and that was my fault.
We have a list of things we've watched, so I want to start it out with the first thing. It's a paranormal documentary.
Stay with us.
And it's called The Unbinding.
Yes.
And it's by a couple called Greg and Dana Newkirk.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've heard of them. I say paranormal. I mean, don't forget all of the typical like jump scare, like ghost hunter,
the
paranormal
daytime TV,
stuff,
ghost hunter, paranormal rubbish.
And don't get me wrong, they do that. They do talk to things and they do experiments and stuff. But they're more like high strangeness. They're more about the idea of. I mean, Dana's a witch, first of all. She's a literal witch. And so they're very into, like, kind of paganistic, like, I don't know if occult is the right word, but things like that and magic. And they're just such interesting people.
They are.
And they've just released a new documentary called The Unbinding.
It was just so good.
It
was just, like, all killer, no filler, nothing, like... Like when it comes to stuff like paranormal, I'm not really you're not that interested.
Yeah.
But these two are just a little bit different.
They're
like,
very different.
There's none of the fucking bullshit, and there's none of the like fake fucking crap. Like they very much believe in the sort of like it's manifested by you.
Exactly.
Like if you want to believe it, then
it will find you, and you will kind of create your own experiences, which is so interesting to me. And
it was so good.
But you know, it's basically it's about they have a museum dedicated to paranormal objects, and they get sent, which is the Haunted Objects podcast, and they were sent in an effigy, and it kind of goes from there, and it's scary,
really good.
There's genuinely scary moments in it, that bits that like they've captured some stuff on film which is scary.
Oh my god, it was great. It was really great.
It was all about kind of like the ritual of unbinding, and it was,
we won't spoil it though.
So interesting.
It's £4.50 on YouTube.
If you're into things like paranormal, high strangeness, the idea of like synchronicities and like higher beings and power and stuff like that, I would 100% suggest it.
Even if you're sort of like on the fence, like I'm like it's not your everyday.
It's not.
They are so clever. They are so smart. They are so educated.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you know, when there's a memed on genre, they are like the
exact opposite.
The standouts.
Like,
they're the difference.
Yeah, they are, and you can tell they really believe in what they say, and they're so well researched, and like the cinematography is beautiful in it. And if you don't want to pay to watch the documentary, even though I would absolutely suggest you do, they have a series that has 2 seasons called Hellier, and that's all about like high strangeness and synchronicities and stuff. They also have a podcast called the Haunted Objects Podcast.
Check that out.
Which is just good fun. It's just good, silly, goofy fun.
They take objects from there, like that they've been sent from,
and it's just a really good time. If you're into that type of stuff, you will love them. You will love them. And thank you, Abby, for hooking me up with the Newkirks, because I really, really enjoy them. And Abby's the spookiest girl I ever met.
So go check that out.
Go check that out.
Because that's awesome.
Yep. We watched season 5 of The Dragon Prince.
Unreal.
Really, really, really good.
Margaret wasn't a massive fan of season 4, so it took
a lot to convince me to watch season 5. But we had a lot of time on our hands.
I didn't mind season 4 at all. I understand that it was maybe a little bit slower and a little bit more contained than the rest of them were.
I just felt like it was like a lot of filler, don't you?
But I think, you know, like they did 3 seasons really quickly, and then COVID hit, obviously, and then they had to take some time off. So then this was the first one back. So I think it was maybe just doing what they could with the time and budget they had and stuff like that. And
we have learned since they released like some stuff in between, like texts and like
comics
or
like small novellas or something like that.
That kind of like bridge the gap between season 3 and season 4, which I suppose would make it make more sense.
Because it like, you know, they wanted to keep the people interested and keep content coming out for, you know, because it was a tough time for everyone. So I think they did a lot of that, but then maybe didn't explain some of the gaps that they filled in with the comics.
Yeah, which, you know, is fine. And but season 5 was good. Season 5 was really good.
It's definitely a more lighthearted. It's, you know,
it's definitely more for kids. I think isn't it? Really,
I think it's for adults and children to watch it with them.
Totally.
You know, like, there's a lot of things. You know, let's just say you watch The Witcher or something like that.
Yeah,
you can't watch that with your kid.
Like, you know how like Adventure Time was like, oh yeah, it's for kids.
It's for kids.
But it wasn't.
Yeah,
really,
it's like there's nothing in there that a kid couldn't watch.
Yeah,
but it definitely caters more to an adult audience.
Definitely, and if you like high fantasy, kind of mixed with like some sci-fi, I would say.
There's loads of dragons. There's war. There's politics.
Yeah.
There's love.
Magic.
There's loads about magic.
Really, really good.
Awesome lore. It's great. The story is fantastic.
I named my moon druid Rayla after the moon elf in the series called Rayla.
Yeah.
Very weird hearing people say Rayla over and over and over again. I'm not gonna lie.
So season 5 was back on track, I think.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And if you haven't watched it yet, give it a go from the beginning. It's so good.
Definitely.
Dragon Prince is so good.
It's on Netflix. I would absolutely completely recommend it.
Yeah.
We watched the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once.
What an emotional
an
emotional roller coaster.
What a incredibly well directed, like acted, the acting in that movie, like the cinematography, the sets, Jesus. Like the costume, and like it's such a.
There was one bit in the movie, right, where like no spoilers, like they flip between all the different image.
It's a timey-wimey thing,
like reality sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like all these different realities of the main character.
Yeah,
and it was like that must have taken.
Oh my god.
Like weeks, if not
my
months.
God.
And it was for about 10 seconds.
It was for 10 seconds of just flicking through all these different realities. And like, think about how much time that must have taken in like makeup and costume and design.
Just like set design.
Oh my God.
And you know, it was like, they didn't need to do that, but it was one of those movies where they just did it. They just did everything that they wanted to do.
And it just, what a beautiful message, what a beautiful outlook on life.
Yeah.
And Lynn, one of our friends and our moderator, she said that to her it was like a perfect representation of positive nihilism, which I completely agree.
Because, you know, like a lot of people hear you say nihilism and there's like a really like negative view towards it, I think sometimes.
I mean, understandably,
because, you know, it can get a bit doomer, like what's the point?
Yeah.
But it was more like there's not a point in doing anything, so do anything you want.
Yeah.
Like there's like, what's the point in, you know, we're all gonna fucking die at the end of the life, so just do what you want.
Yeah, and I think it kind of ends on the message like we can do whatever we want because nothing matters.
Matters.
It was just a really nice message, and it's
so good.
Really emotional. I cried a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, I could cry right now thinking about it. Yeah. But beautiful movie. It won all the awards for a reason. Yeah. I would suggest it.
That's free on Amazon Prime if you have Prime Video. Yeah. So that's a great one to watch. Obviously, Dragon Prince is on Netflix. Yeah. And The Unbinding was £4.50 on YouTube.
On YouTube, and it's on Prime as well.
Yeah. So it's great. And then the last one.
And finally, we are one episode off.
We have got one episode left.
Finishing the One Piece Netflix adaptation. Listen, okay, we've not watched or read One Piece. We have not read.
There's over 1,000 episodes, so I'm not
gonna
watch it.
We're not really anime people.
No.
Like, not because we don't like anime. It's just something that just kind of never. Like, obviously, I was into it when I was younger, and we've watched a few animes together.
Yeah.
But,
a few. We're not like anime connoisseurs.
No, not at all.
Anything. I know a lot of you are.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So we can only speak from being like people who have never watched it before, or like really perceived it before. Obviously, we all know what One Piece is. We'd all heard about One Piece.
I hadn't.
Oh, fair enough.
I'd heard One Piece, but I didn't know what it was about or anything like that.
Fair enough.
But it looked interesting. So.
Yeah, and listen, I was nearly out in the first episode.
Yeah.
First half hour of the first episode, I was like,
it's gonna make or break you in that first episode because it borders on like absurdism.
yeah, and I get it. That's exactly what the anime and the manga are
which
like.
is good.
And that translates very different in animation.
100%.
But I think it's translated well the further we got in.
Yes.
And the more I got used to it. Because it was kind of like jarring at first, right? But again, if you're a fan of One Piece, it probably wasn't jarring to you.
Yeah, because you probably know what to expect.
You probably know what to expect.
Apparently, I might be wrong, it's like being received really well.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, anime adaptations never really are. So the fact that it's being received well is good. Apparently, there's loads of like 1-by-1 shots of like the anime and the adaptation.
Yeah,
which is always
I've seen
awesome
that.
to see.
And I'm really enjoying it. It's got a lot of heart.
Oh my God.
I'm sure the
So much
originals
heart.
have a lot of heart because where else would they pull it from? But listen, Luffy, what a guy!
What
a guy!
Character!
What a guy! Listen,
what a protagonist!
I was saying this to Jack last night. He is like the perfect character archetype for me. Like I love that character archetype. The person who is like lighthearted and funny and like a bit jovial. You could maybe argue like a bit childish,
a bit naive,
but is very tenacious and confident.
Loyal.
They know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're loyal, and they can throw shit down if they need to throw shit down. They can be serious and have depth when they need to. That's my perfect.
Yeah.
Man, what a
just
guy.
Like just all the backstories of every character, it's just so good.
So good.
We've got one episode left.
Which
we're going to probably watch tonight.
Yep.
Oh my God, it's been great.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny, it's lighthearted, it's a little bit weird. It's just a great time.
Yeah, I'd love to know what if you've read or watched the
manga.
What do you think?
Or the anime.
How do you feel about it? Have you watched it? Are you planning on watching it? Is it what it is? Because again, we know that adaptations don't go down very well
normally.
Really the only good adaptation I can think, and we made this example last time, was The Last of Us.
Yes.
The Last of Us was an amazing adaptation.
It was done really well.
Incredibly well. I don't know if it's that level of good.
Yeah. But again, you had 1-by-1s with the series and the game.
Exactly.
And it's just like, when you stick that true, you make the audience happy because like you're basically portraying what they want.
Yeah, you're portraying someone's nostalgia back at them, right?
Yeah, what they asked for.
Yeah,
and
so...
like The Last of Us was such a no-brainer.
Oh God!
To be a good,
oh my
God!
100. Oh my God! 100%. 100%. So yeah, that we've had a lot of time.
I've watched loads of Critical Role.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm almost caught up. I think I'm on 67, and man, like, I know that there's. I'm just going to small rant. Just a small rant. I know that there was like at the beginning of the season, there was a little like. Everyone was this is a bit slow and stuff like that. And I agree, the beginning of the campaign was a little bit slow for my liking. But oh my God. After we like began to see what the actual main plot was, I just don't think Matthew Mercer's ever done a better job. I just don't. Yeah, I don't think he ever had. Like,
I've not watched it, but
it's wild. Like how well he's telling this story.
Yeah,
and like I don't know. I just every single time. It's amazing, and if you started season 3, campaign 3, sorry, and you like maybe fell off around episode 20 because that's when I stopped.
That's also where I stopped.
And I picked it back up. I'm telling you, it is worth every second of your fucking time. It is so good. I think it's the best one yet, and I'm not just saying that by recency bias. Because I've watched all 3 and I watched them in a weird order. I did 2, 1, then 3. And they're all amazing. Every single one's great for their own reason.
Yeah, of course.
But this one, the story that Matt is telling, this is the best one. Maybe it doesn't have the best characters and you like Campaign 2's characters better or whatever, but this is the best story, I think, that Matt's told.
Interesting.
So you should watch it. Interesting.
Well, when I get those hundreds of hours free, I'll watch it too.
I try daily to get Margaret to watch 1, 2, or 3.
Listen, getting me to do anything's hard.
Yeah, getting Margaret to
anything is difficult.
Commit to something to commit to like hundreds of hours of content.
Very, very difficult.
That's a tough sell.
Very,
That's a tough
very
sell.
difficult.
And I understand that it is for anyone.
We watched campaign 3 as it started. We had some friends around when it started. We watched the first episode together. We watched it every single week together.
Me and you watched it
every single week. And then we fell off because it was a bit of a slow start.
It was a slow start. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll catch up eventually.
Yeah, totally fine. But fuck me, is it good?
So
Ooh, baby.
we've had a lot of time to watch stuff, which has been nice. It's been nice to chill out, and the dog's been very happy for it too. So that's what we've been up to.
Let's get into topic then.
Shall we go,
baby?
Yeah. We know why you're here. We're a movie podcast.
We want to know. You're asking yourself. You're sat there in your chair at home saying, "Am I the asshole?"
Oh, yep. Bye.
See you later. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing. One quick thing.
Yes.
I put out a TikTok the other day,
which
was a clip of Mamidia's horrible horror story about her getting called fat by all those weird
a female
fucking nerds. And I put the TikTok out, and then loads of people, like women in the community or like femme presenting people in the community were like, "This is why I don't want to play, and this is what put me off playing for years." And I just wanted to say that we have a Discord, and it is full of people who will never make you being a woman or a femme presenting person a problem.
Ever.
You will never get racially abused, homophobically abused for being a trans person. Anything that like makes you insecure in life or you've been made to feel insecure about, that won't happen in our community because we will not let it. And we have a team of moderators who are dedicated to helping you not have that experience.
Mm-hmm.
There are games going on in there, so if you want to join our Discord and have a safe space to play D&D, there's loads of Dungeon Masters looking for games and loads of players looking for games. So get yourself in and come have a good time.
Yes, please.
Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Very, very well said, Jack.
Thank you.
Very well said.
I just want to say that because maybe I think on TikTok we've got a lot of people who don't understand sort of, they just watch the clips. They don't realize that we've got a TikTok and a YouTube channel and like a community as much as just seeing our videos.
Of course.
So, I just wanted to let you all know.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'll probably clip that and put it on TikTok.
Absolutely. So, as you can see from the title, today we're doing Am I the Asshole?
Am I the asshole? Is it me?
Am I the problem?
Is it our dog?
Yo, it's the dog. It's definitely the dog, let me tell you that. Did we tell you we took him to the emergency vet?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
first of all, of course, we were always going to take him.
But obviously it was on a Sunday.
Of course it was on Sunday. Of course he decided to act the weirdest he's ever acted on a Sunday.
On a Sunday.
Yeah, of course. When it's literally like 100 times more expensive.
Yeah.
To go. Anyway. Yes.
Tis what it is.
Tis
what it has been.
Tis.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So, these are all submissions.
Every single one of these is a
every
submission.
single one is a submission,
I haven't
which
seen
is
these.
rare.
Margaret put this together yesterday while I was making homemade tomato soup, baby.
Man, that soup was really good.
It banged real
Gave
hard.
me real bad heartburn, but it was really
roasted
good.
Garlic and tomato soup.
Really good. Look at us. We've been such homebodies the past.
Yeah, because I've had time to cook.
Yeah, true.
And
true.
oh man, it's been good. I love cooking. It's so good.
Can't wait.
So
yes, these are all submissions. Thank you so much to everyone who sent your submissions in.
Feels good to be back.
Sometimes with Am I the Arsehole submissions, it kind of skirts. It's difficult because...
It's difficult, especially when it's a submission.
Especially when it's a submission because, 9 times out of 10, it's mainly venting. And I actually say all of these could be interspersed with advice too. Because a lot of times it's people just saying, like, what do I do? Anyway,
it's
these
like
are all...
a situation that you don't know how to handle. So you handled it how you thought you would that maybe wasn't the best. So now you're asking if you're the asshole. And it's like, look, sometimes we just don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
so let's fucking get this, baby.
Let's get this bread.
Ready? Are you buckled?
Go on.
I know you didn't get it, but you're ready for this.
Oh, are you ready?
Are you thirsty?
Are you ready for missing an episode,
Have you got that asshole taste on your tongue?
Oh, what? No. Well, let's just get into it.
Number
1. This has been sent in by, thank you so much for phonetically spelling out your name. It's Balatare. Thank you so much. And he goes, so I hear him.
Balatare.
Reading out the phonetics actually confused me.
That's a really cool name.
Balatare. What a cool name. So, I run short campaigns in a homebrew setting where my friends' characters from previous groups or editions are the gods of this world. For personal reasons, I had a falling out with a friend/player called Alan. And obviously, Alan is a fake name.
fine.
Since the falling out, I have removed Alan's old character, Metzger, from the pantheon of my world, replacing him with a new character of my own design. Very few players played Dwarf, Metzger's race, and nobody had played a Cleric of the Tempest, Metzger's domain, so this change was done between campaigns and quietly. Sorry, I haven't read out loud in like a week, and I've lost the ability to read, apparently.
Keep it up.
Thank you. In the latest campaign, Sam, fake name,
Yep.
mutual friend who knows of the situation between Alan and I, wanted to play a pious dwarf Storm Herald barbarian.
Okay.
I gave Sam the primer on the new deity, and he responded with a surprised, "Oh, it's not Metzger." And I simply said no. I didn't make an in-universe reason for the switch from Metzger to the new god. I simply retconned it so that the new god had always been the god of thunder and lightning.
Okay.
Fair enough. Sam's barbarian's motivation switched after session 0. Not simply a pious man, he is now hell-bent on bringing back the old ways.
The old ways don't exist, Sam.
I.e., the worship of Metzger. I informed him privately in chat that Metzger's worship was not the old way, and I would just appreciate it if he didn't bring up Alan's old character again. He shot back saying that I was being really petty and that I was trying to control his character for him, and that I had sprung the fact that Metzger was no longer the god of thunder. It was never relevant before. The next session is coming up soon, and I'm dreading to think that I'm either going to have a pre-game discussion with Sam, or that I'm going to have to endure his character's behaviour, or that I'm going to have to potentially lose another player if we can't come to an agreement on this. So am I being an asshole?
No. Like, look, fallings out happen.
It happens.
Like, as you grow up, fallings out happen.
Yeah.
You once saw eye to eye. Like, you live different lives. You grow up different lives. You go your separate ways. Like, I have not even lost friends, but just don't hang out with people that I used to. Like, it happens as you grow up. It's very normal and natural. And I think this is like a really childish way to handle this on Sam's behalf. You didn't make it a big thing, didn't make it a problem. You just replaced that character's god with a new god and didn't make a big deal about it. I think you were maybe unfortunate that this person
is a mutual friend and then also wants to have like the whole pious thing and follow the specific god and is a dwarf.
It was either unlucky or planned
or
to a
intentional.
T.
Yeah. And we can't speak on that.
We can't speak on that. All we can speak on is what has happened.
You're well within your right to not include anything you don't want in your world.
Yeah.
Like it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And I obviously don't know how things ended with Alan. It sounds like you know what? It doesn't even matter how things ended with Alan.
It doesn't matter at all.
If you decided that you didn't want to have a reminder of this person in your game, then you're well within your right to do that. And I understand from the mutual friend's perspective, even just the shock of being like, oh, it's not Metzger. I actually understand that.
Yeah, like it's not Metzger. Fair enough.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
That should be it.
Fair enough.
That should be it.
If Sam is your friend, they would respect the fact that you and Alan are no longer friends, and they should just shut their mouth.
But the fact that they went from, like, now I'm uncovering, it's like, no, you're not, because that doesn't exist, and you're just making it exist. Like, we had a campaign that Matthew ran that 2 people left. Just halfway through, they just lost interest.
Yeah,
fair enough.
It
like,
happens. It was the first time playing D&D. It happens.
And like, Matthew one day turned up to the session and said, their 2 characters turn around to the party and say, we're going back to the village.
Yeah.
And none of us go like, oh, no, you can't.
Oh, my God,
no, you can't go back to the village. We need you for adventuring.
Yeah,
it's just
and we were still friends with these people.
We were just like yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Like, I can't imagine being, I'm trying to picture it in our friendship group because there's people that we're no longer friends with who some of our friends are still friends with, right? And if a situation happened like this, there is no way in hell anyone, apart from maybe making a joke, would be like, no, yeah, I'm bringing it back. Like, that's just disrespectful.
It's like
as a
this
friend.
person's calling you petty whilst being the
most petty person here.
Most petty motherfucker on earth. Like, there isn't any need to make this a problem, and the fact that you're making it a problem is the only problem here.
Yeah,
that is the only problem here.
Yeah, and I honestly, like, I understand Sam wanting to maybe in their own way stand up for their friend. But this isn't the way to do it.
And it's like, you didn't like say, this god has fallen from grace.
You just changed it.
You changed it.
You've just changed it. And
you didn't make it a
like,
deal.
Yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely not the arsehole.
Not the arsehole.
No.
I upset the dog.
Oh dear. Oh honey.
Oh, I clacked my hammer too hard.
Dear.
I shan't clack it so hard.
No, you shan't. No, you shan't clack it at all, actually. We'll just do it in the air.
Yeah, we'll do it in the air.
We'll do it in the air. Oh, he's gone.
He's in the front room.
Oh.
Not the asshole.
Oh my God, absolutely not the asshole.
Even like an iota of being an asshole.
You're well within your right.
People grow up. People grow apart. You know, like like I said, I have, fallen out with friends, but most of the time it's just drifting apart.
Just drift apart.
These things just happen as
when
you get
you're
older.
30, it happens.
We
trust
can't
me.
make a fucking deal out of every single person that you don't talk to anymore.
No, exactly.
Not the asshole in the slightest.
I know this is, am I the asshole? But you say like, what should I do? I either have to talk to him, I have to just deal with it, or potentially lose another player. I think
you talk to them.
Honestly, Balatare, I would say talk to him and just say like, what happened between me and Alan hurt me. I don't know. Just say it's simply like it's hurting me having to bring these things back up. Please just leave it there. Please respect that. Like just because you're playing in this game and their character isn't the god doesn't mean you're any less of a friend to Alan.
Yeah.
But they're just not in my world anymore.
They're just not in my world anymore.
So please respect that.
Please respect that. And if there's still like pushback on that, then you sort of know the crack.
Well, and you say, like, I'm worried I'm going to potentially lose another player. If this person's going to disrespect you like that, totally. And I know it feels really bad losing someone.
Send this to them.
Yeah, totally.
Like, look, Sam.
You can be friends with both of them and it's fine.
Both of them and but your DM doesn't need a constant reminder in their world of a friend that they no longer have.
Yeah, it's painful regardless. And I'm sure you've felt that yourself too.
They didn't make it a big deal. They just changed it and it's changed and that's it and it's done. It's done in a really respectful way. They haven't fallen from grace.
Yep.
The god hasn't died. They just changed the god because they didn't want a constant reminder of a previous friend. So if you could just not make that a deal, that's the best way to go about this.
And you're not being a bad friend by playing in this game.
No.
And you're not being a bad friend by not worshipping the god that should have been Alan's character, but you are being a bad friend by making Balatare feel like this.
By making Balatare feel like this.
Yeah.
Like, just worshipping the new god is fine.
Come on.
Like, and being like, I'm bringing back the old god. It's like,
there isn't. Simply there isn't.
There isn't. So, not the asshole.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not the asshole, Balatare. I'm sorry. I really hope that gets sorted out. This was actually one of the most recent submissions that we had. So I hope that helps. And no, you're not the asshole.
No, you're not the asshole.
So this is number 2, and this has been sent in by not the Dragon Prince, by the DragonKing, and
the DragonKing,
and he goes by him. Thank you, DragonKing. He's staring at me.
Oh,
he's looking very. Don't look at him. Don't look him in the eye. Don't look him in the eye. You look at this dog in the eye, you activate him.
You activate.
That's it. So this has been sent in by DragonKing. He goes by he, him.
Okay.
Hello, I have been loving the podcast and I hope to be listening for many, many more. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, DragonKing,
for your so much,
kind words about our podcast.
So right now, I need some outside opinions, as I am not sure if I am in my own head about this, or if I am the arsehole for having a story arc where I join the villains and not have them be as black and white as we used to have them.
Okay.
So playing D&D 5e with some friends, and I've been playing with... I'm so sorry. I feel like I am stumbling, choking, falling over all these
You're doing great. Keep it up.
Been playing with some...
Let's give some Margaret hype.
No, I don't
give some Margaret hype.
I don't need it.
Comment down below with how great Margaret is doing at reading out these submissions.
Does my voice sound weird?
No.
My voice sounds really weird to me. What's that about? Anyway... Been playing D&D 5e with some friends, and I've been playing with them for many years now. The DM, he, him, and 4 other players across the gender spectrum. At this point, we have played a full few campaigns, and I have done a few character arcs/stories I've always wanted to do. And the DM confided in me that he was getting bored of having black and white, bad versus good stories. He wanted to have more morally grey areas that makes the players think. So between campaigns, we watched the anime Castlevania on Netflix. Good choice. And we were inspired. He came up with more characters that fits with what he wants for the campaign, and he helped me came up with a DragonKing, warlock/sorcerer homebrew, who worshipped and was married to Tiamat and was working over the course of the story to free her, to turn her into a full dragon, to then rule under her. The story is written so that she was more nuanced and had valid reasons for wanting and needing to rule. My character knew some, but he never questioned her. Our DM ran the idea of betrayals, hard moral choices, and more grey NPC and story beats, and we still used our safety tools as normal, and they were all cool and interested with the idea. This is the party.
Nice.
Over the time of the game, hints and character moments were leaked until around my character was found out, after all the character stories were wrapped up, and I got to join the DM behind their screen and run a 2-pronged roleplay and boss battle. It was amazing, but the party's reaction was worrying. I guess the betrayal was too much, and they haven't talked about it since, and get far-off looks and walked out after the session ended. When it was all said and done, my character was sent off by Tiamat, and she was rechained to the Hells. So did me and my DM fuck up here?
Okay.
Man, this is a really hard one.
Oh my God.
First of all, I want to preface this by saying no one is the arsehole here.
Not a single person's the asshole here.
I don't think this is...
I
feel like I really don't think so.
I think
if you hadn't have included the part where you had the session zero
and everyone
you
went
talked
over
about betrayals and all these things, and everyone... like if that wasn't included, I think I would say you're the arsehole here, but I don't think anyone's the arsehole, just to set that up first.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think this is the problem, and this is why it's really hard, I think, to run an evil, I'm just saying for the sake of ease, an evil aligned character in a party that isn't. Yes.
Because, look, I just ran a extremely morally grey campaign where not really anyone was the good or bad guy.
Yeah.
There was people who were slightly worse, but everyone had done some shit, and everyone had seen some shit, and everyone had been through some shit.
Yeah.
And really, there was a lot of people who were wronged, but they weren't doing the right thing to go about it. So it's like, I understand doing that. I did have a betrayal. I had a betrayal, but it was just, I think it's so tough, because when it bleeds from just the dungeon master doing the betrayal to a player around the table doing the betrayal, that is far harder to pull off.
I completely agree.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No,
and you
no,
didn't do
no.
anything wrong, but that is a far harder sell to the rest of the party.
And I wonder if the party weren't aware that the betrayal would come from somewhere in the party.
Yeah.
Because that feels bad. And you know what? I don't know if I can really pinpoint why that feels bad. And maybe some of you will understand what I say, but your party is like the only thing between you and the bad guy. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you expect the betrayals from the DM.
Mm-hmm.
You expect all of those things, right? But from within your own party, I don't know. It just feels bad.
Yeah. I can guarantee, well, I can't guarantee, but I can take a educated guess that after the dust settled and after on went home and you talked about it later, it probably wasn't as bad.
Yes.
Because it's the initial shock of it.
Totally.
No one's the arsehole.
No.
I guess that just maybe there was different expectations. And look, expectations are the hardest thing to manage in the world. They just are.
Totally.
And even when you attempt to manage them, I can say something to you. I could say a sentence to you, and you could perceive that in a completely different way to how Margaret could perceive it.
Yeah, totally.
And how the other 3,000 or whatever of you could perceive it. So it's so hard to get this across. I think if it was just the dungeon master who'd done this betrayal, nobody would have had a problem at all.
Agreed.
But the fact that there was a player involved as well was what upset them.
No, I have no doubt about that.
So, is anyone the asshole?
No, I don't think so. I think maybe I don't even think this is a case of you and the DM fucking up. I think maybe this was potentially
a learning experience.
Yeah, I don't even want to say a lapse in judgment, because I don't think that's what it is. I think this is probably a learning experience.
You tried something, it didn't land with the rest of the party.
Yeah.
Now you know.
And I feel like, But there's the other part of me that wants to say, like, doing things to, like, a detriment of the party and, like, then joining the boss in, like, the final fight feels really bad.
But, you know, like, to some people, that might be really cool.
True.
It's like, you just know where the line is drawn and where the cards fall with your party.
Exactly.
And, like, you know, like, I imagine that the rest of your party understands that you weren't doing this to fuck them over. You were just doing this because that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, and to be honest, I would understand the feelings of feeling a bit fucked over. I think it's because it's not DM versus player ever, and it shouldn't be. But, you know, the party is their own thing, the DM is their own thing. And I think it's the knowledge then, knowing that you went and joined them behind the screen, the knowledge that you had been, like, conspiring to do this.
Yeah. Like, working against.
Feels kind of bad, right? And I think in that moment, it would maybe make you question any of, like, the character relationships you had. Was any of it true?
Was any of it real?
In that, like, first, like, shock. So I understand why your party reacted like that.
But, you know, like, at the end of the day, like, this is something you wanted to do. You explored it. Now we just know that maybe that's not a goer again for the rest of the party.
Agreed.
That's all it is.
Agreed. And I also think if I actually would say hard, don't do this again. Like, with this party.
Now I would. I wouldn't do it again with this party.
If you are, maybe make it clear in the session 0 that the betrayals could come from within the party. Because I think maybe if it had been put like that, maybe there would have been more no's. I don't know. This is, to be fair, this is just me speculating. Yeah. But
you aren't the asshole though.
No.
Like,
I don't think anyone's the asshole. I think
you didn't fuck up and you aren't the asshole.
Yeah,
I just now know what your party likes and doesn't
like.
Yeah,
I think you tried something, especially because the DM said, like, I'm bored of all of this, and I don't think anyone's the asshole here, but I fully understand everyone's perspective.
No one's the asshole.
I do. Thank you so much, DragonKing. Thank you so much for your submission. We really appreciate that.
We do.
Thank you. So this next one,
number 3.
This has been sent in by Cinna, and they go by he, they.
Thank you, Cinna, for your submission.
Thank you so much, Cinna. And the title is, Am I the Arsehole for putting the paladin in the corner with a firewall? Hey y'all, in the long-term campaign I was DMing, we had reached a massive Colosseum battle against Zariel and another high-powered devil. We rolled initiative and began the battle. One round in, the paladin had left the table and was laying on the floor, in real life. Multiple people, myself included, told him that this was a big fight and he needed to be at the table and paying attention, but he remained on the floor. Multiple rounds passed as the fight grew deeper and he was paying less and less attention, playing on his phone, etc. We had a rule that if you were called 3 times for your turn and didn't respond, you just missed your turn to keep the flow.
Fair.
He missed some turns due to his actions. When he did act, he simply said, I'll just attack without looking at the map I had made. But he wouldn't be in range of anyone, so he requested we would just move him closer and end his turn. Then the few attacks he did... The few attacks he did manage to make dealt intense levels of damage to the enemies.
That's because he's a paladin.
So when the enemy turn came around, they shoved him to the edge of the Colosseum and they cast Wall of Fire, locking him and the monk behind it. The monk easily escaped with some fancy wall-running monk shit.
Dope monk shit.
And when the paladin's turn came, he simply said, I attack, without getting off the floor and looking at the board. Being trapped, he couldn't reach anyone, so he said... Wait, when did that happen? I guess I'll just stay here then.
Wouldn't that be not a problem if you were just looking and paying attention, huh?
I suggested he could use the spell magic on the wall, but he just declined and ended his turn.
Well, that's a childish thing to do.
He stayed there for multiple turns until the party broke the concentration on the wall, but he got frustrated and he left the session just before that happened. So I guess the question is, was I being too harsh here? Looking back, I realized I was frustrated at him and I locked him to the side to perhaps re-spark interest in him again or just to punish him. But I thought it was a fair tactic to use being high intelligence devils. What do you think? Am I the arsehole for putting him in the corner?
No. No, you will never be the arsehole in this situation.
Like...
Go on, babe. You tell him.
Listen.
You tell him. Go on.
I feel really bad for you, Cinna. The fact that you already have a rule where if you're called 3 times and you miss it, you miss your turn. That suggests to me that this is like a repeated thing.
This is a repeated thing, yeah.
And like, who just gets up and lays down and
children
sits, like, yeah.
Children.
And like, you know what? I would understand if there was If there was just a reason for it,
like,
fair
look,
enough.
if there's a reason for it,
if there's a reason
if you
for it, you have to go
pay attention for any reason.
You have to go lay down, etc.
Yeah,
I
fine.
get it, but like it doesn't sound like
Doesn't
this is the
sound
situation,
like that.
especially because the rule's been set in place. How could you care so little?
And
That's my
could,
thing.
How can the words come out of your mouth? Wait, when did that happen? How dare you ask when that happened?
Like,
How dare you come to the table and be like, wait when did I get locked behind a wall of fire? I don't know. Maybe when you weren't paying fucking attention.
when you were on the floor on your phone.
Maybe that's when.
And then the DM being like, you could use dispel magic, and then being like, no.
Fine, then.
Fine, perish then.
Don't play it.
Then
and then
perish.
it's like, I won't. And
Okay.
it's like, look, no one cares that you've left.
No, man.
You've added negative to
yeah,
this situation.
absolutely negative.
You've given nothing to this session, so no one cares that you've left. Walking out isn't the big show that you think it is.
Isn't the mic drop moment.
You look like a fool and a child.
And you know what, Cinna? The fact at the end you can recognize, you're like, I realize in hindsight I was mad at him. I realize I was trying to punish him. I realize I was trying to spark interest in him. Like, the fact you can have that self-reflection is good. And I can't blame you.
No.
I don't blame you for that. Like
I would have. The thing is, it's like the fact that you used your in-game tactics to try and spark a little bit of creativity into somebody that doesn't deserve it is far better than what most would do. I would have just turned and gone, well, then go home.
Yeah. And like, I was going to say, in a perfect world and giving like the perfect advice I could, the advice would be like, just talk to them outside the game about it, right?
Yeah.
But this isn't a perfect world.
No, this isn't the perfect world.
If it was me, I would have been a lot more.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been as nice about it.
And as well, just so you understand, trapping your melee people behind a firewall in a Colosseum battle is a fantastic tactic to make it more tactical.
Totally, absolutely.
That's a great way to be like, we trapped you in the firewall and we move away.
Yep.
So, they either have to take the damage from the firewall all the time, find a way to escape, use a resource to use dispel magic. That's a very viable thing to do, even if they were paying attention.
Yeah, totally. And, again, it makes the other people in the party think as well, all right, maybe we can try and get them to drop concentration if for whatever reason they don't want to move through the wall.
We've got a secondary objective now to break concentration on this person.
Gives the monk a reason to use the cool monk shit.
Yeah.
And then the paladin can either tank it or they can all work together
or they can use dispel magic.
Yeah, exactly. Like that there is nothing wrong with that tactic.
Nothing wrong with that tactic anyway. And just want you to understand, being hard on yourself in this situation is pointless because you did nothing wrong.
Yeah, not the asshole. Oh my god.
And saying like, I know I was probably frustrated. You have a
you
right.
You have every
right
to be frustrated. And yes, okay, in a perfect world, yes, there's better ways to deal with it than just doing things in game. But
as we've said before, if you have, if you've spoken to your dungeon master about being on your phone because you struggle to pay attention, that's fine.
Totally.
But clearly that conversation wasn't had here. Laying on their back, not paying attention, and just saying I'll attack isn't
so
fair.
rude.
Isn't fair.
That's so
this
rude.
This person's planned this fight for you, and you are paying them zero
respect. Negative. And again, the fact it sounds like this is a repeated thing, and I'm so sorry, Cinna. That's so rude.
So rude.
That's so fucking rude. And I hope this person left.
Yeah.
Didn't come back.
Yeah, and didn't come back.
Honestly.
I hope they think their mic drop was really cool, but everyone's literally sat there going, well,
thank God.
That was cringe.
Yeah.
Fuck this person.
Sorry, Cinna. No, you're absolutely not the asshole.
The asshole.
Thank you so much for your submission. Yep.
I decree.
Oh, go on.
Knock, knock, knock. Not the asshole.
All right.
All right, baby.
My voice.
It sounds silky smooth, beautiful.
My God. Oh, my Lord.
Potentially the best voice I've sounded.
Thank you. I feel like I'm talking strange.
No, you're not.
So this is number 4, and this has been sent in by not the Dragon Prince, not the Dragon King, but by Blood Dragon.
By Blood Dragon?
There's
so many dragons!
Thank you so much, Blood Dragon.
I'm so glad that we have so many dragons here.
And his pronouns are he, him. This is a slightly longer one, but you'll see why. So, this might seem like random thoughts, but they do all come together. I joined a friend's campaign who had been DMing for about 5 or 6 months total. They moved the day they played to include me, which I was very grateful for, and they were excited to have me because I've been playing for around 7 years now, and they thought the experience would help. I was originally going to play a cleric, but I decided on a warlock. I could cast Disguise Self and detect magic at will, so I had them pretty much always going. Fast forward, one of the newer players to D&D who was playing an evil character decided to fireball a building in town while they were alone. This led to the character going to be executed, but I sacrificed my character to make sure that they survived, at the cost of both of us retiring those characters and escaping instead of dying. We rolled new characters and now we are twins. On the session we were supposed to be introduced, it took the party 3 hours to get to us, despite knowing where we were. We were trapped in a cage in an orc camp. They shopped a little, they talked to some trees, and they fought everything in camp instead of letting us out so we could play too. Then, even when we got out, the party was disinterested in starting an interaction with us. This irked me for obvious reasons, and I voiced it to everyone so it wouldn't happen in the future if anyone else had to roll a new character. We moved on, I got over it, and it became a joke to me that I would reference fairly frequently. Fast forward, first combat with a new character, a paladin. I'm in the boss's face with my flaming sword, but I'm frightened. The DM says our Beastmaster Ranger / Rogue doesn't get sneak attack, even though I'm within 5 feet of him because I'm frightened.
Okay.
I said, oh, it doesn't say that raw, which is rules as written, and the DM states that I'm not a threat anymore because I'm frightened.
Okay.
To which I reply, that's a weird ruling, but you're the DM, so okay. Which I admit wasn't the best response in the moment.
Okay. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
In brackets, they later admitted that they felt the ranger was doing too much damage to the boss, and that was the real reason for the ruling.
Okay.
After the fight, we leveled up, and our druid is replacing spells that they think are useless, one of which was dark vision. I brought up how me and my sister don't have dark vision, so it could still be helpful. Later on, I sent a TikTok meme to the ranger about problem players at the table, which was about a Gloomstalker Ranger Assassin Rogue, my first D&D character that I talked about with them before, and how much damage they deal. Interesting.
That's what I played in the one-shot, and that's what Margaret's currently playing right now.
The DM had a private talk with me after this and was very upset with the sneak attack incident, which I admit I should have handled better at the time, as I can be a bit of a rules lawyer, and a lot of stuff all came out at once. Apparently, I'm a problem player who was selfish for playing the Warlock because it didn't fit the campaign, which was difficult for them as a new DM to deal with because of the constant magical effects going on, and I should have known better than to pick something more simpler for a new DM. I'm selfish for saying dark vision could have been helpful and that they shouldn't have to pick spells for other people that they don't want. And the jokes I made about the 3-hour incident are insensitive and make everyone feel uncomfortable and that they feel I can't let it go. And I've ruined the ranger's character with the meme I sent, and they can't enjoy their character anymore because the build they have is similar to the meme. All of this resulted in me being removed from the game for a month because I need to be punished and there has to be consequences for my actions.
Fucking Jesus.
So am I the asshole here?
No. I'm just going to say it out loud. Look, the whole frightened thing, I could see that being a rule that you use at your table and it's totally fine. Like, being frightened so you're not technically threatening is, a rule that might just be a call in the moment. And, the fact that you said that's not rules, but then afterwards you were like, I'm sorry, like, sometimes I get like that. And recognizing that is fine. I have been like that before sometimes. My dungeon master brain kicks in and sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, you can rule it like this, but that's not how it is. And I'm like, why did I say that? It doesn't matter like what I think because it's not my game. I've been like that and I've regretted it. Look, fuck me, we aren't perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, every single time, let's just break it down. The 3-hour thing, unacceptable.
Yeah, regardless of like whether you keep making jokes about it, like why did they do that?
They know as players that you are sat there at Dungeons and Dragons, which we all look forward to every week, that we've taken our time out of our week to sit there for 3 hours while they just buy shit and do the fucking camp without you. It's like,
and like it's the same thing as in session 1 when no one knows each other maybe, and you all have to find a reason to get together, and you all have to you have to forego the realism aspect of it and just get together and do it.
Yeah,
it's the same thing here.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
You see that someone has new characters coming in, you kind of drop whatever you're doing to make sure that the people feel involved and you bring them in.
100%.
That's weird, the fact that they did that anyway.
Like making people sit there for 3 hours, that should be like, in the least dramatic way, that should be the first thing that you try and do, is find the new players.
Yeah, totally.
Like, if somebody's character dies at our table and they're coming in with a new character and everybody knows they're coming in with a new character and they're sitting at the table, we're going to try and get to the point where they are coming in pretty quickly because we don't want them just sat there doing nothing because that's not fair on them.
Yeah.
Like, that's just something that you do, common courtesy as a person.
Yeah. And you know what? To the next point, I do agree. Like, to be like, well, that's a weird ruling. Like, that's not fair either.
That's
like,
not fair. Sometimes in battle, it gets the better of us, and we say things that we don't mean. And look, I've said things that I don't mean at the table before, and then just afterwards gone like, look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have done that.
As long as you apologize for it, which it sounds like you did.
And the fact, the hardest part is understanding that it was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
And, understanding is, like, reflecting and saying, I made a mistake is the hardest thing to do, and a really great thing to be able to do. So the fact that you've done it is great. Yeah, maybe try not to do it again, and just let the DM, like, rule how they want.
Yeah.
But the last thing...
Well, the dark vision thing as well,
Fuck, Jesus fucking Christ, we're not allowed to have a fucking discourse? Like, right, that person doesn't want dark vision anymore. You can't... Like, you just saying, oh, we don't have dark vision, so it's still helpful, isn't you saying you need to take dark vision because I need it.
And you need to cast it on me every single time.
Like, just saying, this is useful because, like, I don't have dark vision and neither does this person, isn't you telling somebody what they have to do.
Yeah, like, ruling over them, and then...
Like, discourse between, like, oh, shit, do you want to take that spell that you cast the other day because we're going back into this place where we're fighting those enemies?
Yeah, and, I can only speak for our party, but we all work as a party, and we always buff each other. We always give each other like the things that people are lacking.
You guys
right?
talk about like, what spell should I take?
Yeah,
like, are you taking that spell? I won't take this spell then because that's, you know what I mean? Like, having that discourse isn't telling people.
Yeah,
what
no,
to do.
Definitely. And then finally sending the TikTok of the ranger thing. Because you didn't play that character and you went in with a different character, I can understand, I think, why the ranger would feel like you were talking about them.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I can actually see all the other counter sides to this as well. I'm really I'm sorry to say it, and it's kind of hard to say it, but I can see the arguments that the other side are trying to make too.
Okay.
I can understand if you keep making a joke about something and maybe you haven't read the room that people are sick of it and you continue with that joke, it can feel like it's not a joke anymore.
Yeah.
It can feel like you're just trying to rub it in or make people feel bad about it and you can't let it go. I get it. I can also I fully understand why the DM would be upset with you with saying what you said.
Okay, like that happens, and look, like, as a dungeon master who plays now and then, like, I can do this just out of fucking, like, reflex. But that's not how it works or something like that. So we do have to apologize for those things. Like, that is, but you did. Like, the fact that you did. They did, didn't they?
Yes.
Apologizing is all you need to do, and being like, I'll try not to do it in the future and stuff like that. Like, that happens. And I don't agree with the fucking dark vision thing.
No, I don't agree with the dark vision thing either. Especially because a druid can switch their spells out every day as well.
And look, if you were, it's so hard because a lot of them are context. If you were literally just joking about the ranger build, and you thought maybe you were a little bit more friendly than you were,
yeah.
This all comes down to context.
I mean, one thing that I absolutely do not agree with that the DM has said here is the fact that you picked a warlock and you should have known better.
Don't you fucking tell me what I should play.
Like that. And again, I'm a firm believer of, like, I think it's okay for DMs to say, like, this is too much for me. Please, can we change it?
But you didn't say that.
The DM didn't say that. And I think that is 100% on the DM. And now the DM... Sounds like the DM resents you a little bit.
Yeah, it sounds like they are using everything else as an excuse to maybe lay on thick what they feel as well.
Absolutely.
So
this Blood Dragon, this sounds like a kind of like a toxic environment to me
for
what, everyone.
Let me just say, look, you may have made a mistake. You may have made a mistake with the TikTok that you sent. You may have made a mistake with the that's a bit of a weird ruling. You can make mistakes and not be a piece of shit.
Oh my god, totally.
Like, the thing is, here, I feel like maybe some mistakes have been made, but I don't think you're the asshole.
No, I think I I'm actually kind of leaning towards like everyone kind of sucks here a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Because this sounds like a really toxic situation where there's been things bubbling on in the background. The fact that the DM knows that the ranger was upset about you for it. The druid had said that you were selfish for making them pick their spells. It feels like there has been a conversation going on in the background. And I don't doubt that you have upset these people, but I think it might be they're in their own heads about it, and instead of coming to you about it, they're talking about it behind your back.
Yeah, which
and
isn't
then
good.
This has come to fruition.
Like, if you've got a problem with somebody, like, and they don't know, how can they ever do something about it?
Well, exactly.
And this is why even if they are an asshole, even if somebody like is an asshole in the situation, if you don't tell them,
how are they going to change?
And you let it build up to the point where you say, these are all the things you've done wrong, and we're punishing you with a month out. It's like
how is there like that escalated? And to be fair, you say it here, like a lot of stuff came out, and it sounds like this came as a shock to you.
Like, how can you ever do anything about it if you don't know?
I completely agree. And I'm not saying that you're an asshole, Blood Dragon. I'm saying that it sounds like to me there's things obviously here that are red flags from all of you.
Yeah.
As a group.
But the fact that you recognize yours.
Totally. It's probably more than what they're doing. And the DM is completely 100% wrong saying,
oh my god, yeah, 100%.
In saying you're selfish for playing a warlock and you should have known better. That's wrong. That's simply completely wrong.
This is navigating being a dungeon master is hard. I get it. It fucking is. Trust me. But if you aren't open and honest with your player, dungeon master is just going to get harder for you.
100%.
If there is something that is just fucking busted broken that you can't handle, you need to
tell them.
Tell them.
You need to tell them
and be
honest.
Tell them.
And you can work together. And if a conversation had happened at any of these points before it all came to this...
Can I bet you drink? I left mine over there.
Yeah. If a conversation had been had at every single point before this, it wouldn't have blown up like this, I don't think. I think you all need to get together. And the thing is, you've been kicked from the game for a month. I think... You need to consider if you're the right fit for this table. They need to consider if you're a good group together.
Yeah.
And you need to have honest, open communication between all of you because you're all in the wrong here.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think there's things that all of you have done wrong.
I think there's things, but I think you even understand that. But I think the fact that you've come to us like with this, knowing that you've done some things wrong, probably to me shows that you have a better open line of communication with people.
Exactly.
The fact that you obviously want a solution or want to know what's going on probably shows me that. But like, here's an example. Josh played a sorcerer and was using careful spell wrong. And everybody was not taking any damage.
Yeah, we all thought that it meant like we all just like avoided damage.
When he did careful spell with a fireball, because he was like throwing fireballs on him.
It means you just take half.
And I was like, this is fucking powerful as fuck. And I found out that it was wrong. And I just, instead of being like trying to like hide it or talking to everyone about it and being like, Josh is doing this wrong, Josh is doing this wrong, I just literally got in the car with him and be like, Josh, by the way, we've been using careful spell wrong. I said, we've been using careful spell wrong. Because it's my fault too. Like, I'm the one who's supposed to know the rules. I know I don't have to know them all.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm the one who rules the ruling in the game. So I turned to him and said, we've been doing it wrong, And he went, oh, really? And I was like, yeah. It's supposed to work like this. Like, we just had an open line of communication about something that was clearly fucking my life up because it was doing so much damage whilst everyone was fine. But we figured it out. And it's like, just being honest with your players if something's wrong.
It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
It's not a bad thing.
There is obviously a lack of honesty from the rest of your party here to you. And I think you need to, first of all, think of if this is the right group for you, and then have a talk with everyone. I think this is just a bad situation, and I'm sorry, Blood Dragon.
Yeah.
This is an awful situation.
It's a bit of a stinky one,
and your DM is so wrong for saying that to you.
Yeah.
And I hope you get it worked out.
I
really do.
Right.
Oh,
that was a long one.
Damn.
That was
a long one, but
we were talking.
You can see why.
We were talking about that for 16 minutes.
Were we?
Yeah.
Well,
how mad's that?
Thank you for the content, Blood Dragon.
Keeping this podcast alive, baby.
So this next one, this has been sent in by Anonymous, please.
Anonymous, please. Thank you so much for your submission.
And they left no pronouns, so we'll just try and refer to them pronounless. Pronounless. So I have just started DMing a campaign for a few What's going on? I have just started DMing a campaign for a few friends.
Wow. That's all it was.
I said tents.
A few tents.
For a few,
just a couple of tents.
A few tents.
Me and the tents.
And I'm doing now whether I...
A gaggle of tents. A murder of tents.
I've started DMing a campaign for a few friends, and I'm doing know whether I am being oversensitive.
I don't know.
I'm so sorry, OP.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Don't know whether I'm being oversensitive.
Yes.
Some context. I play in a different game with these people, with all of us as players, which has been going on for a while now and is good fun. I ran my first session of my homebrew campaign a while ago, and we have planned and cancelled 2 sessions since. Although frustrating, not the issue.
It happens. Look, it happens.
It does.
It happens.
I have tried to be pretty open with the players that I want this to be us building a story together more than giving them a story myself. So if they have thoughts on hometowns, cultures for their races, etc., I'm happy to talk and include them. One player has done a couple of things, and I don't know if I'm the asshole for being upset. First, in a low-tech, primarily fae/magic world, they want to be an automaton. I had a list of 14 races I gave them, but also said they could ask for anything if they wanted. But obviously, automaton wasn't on the list. We worked it out as a leshy that was a wooden statue. A leshy.
Let's hit the Google.
Look it up.
Leshy, Leshi.
Yeah, leshy. I'm thinking of leshes from. I'm thinking of threshers from World of Warcraft.
Lesh sort of looks like a tree person. Like
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Okay, cool.
Russian folklore for like a being from the forest.
Cool. Okay, cool. We worked it out as being a leshy that was a wooden statue, and they seemed happy with the result.
Yeah.
That's a great way to reskin something.
Exactly. There we go. Reskin and love it.
Yeah. They were then an hour late to the character creation /session 0. However, only one of my players was on time, my girlfriend. In brackets, one player on time, one had work, and I had known that they would be late. This player had slept in, and the fourth was the player's partner and was driving them so they couldn't leave. After, they messaged me asking if they could have a kind of plant polymorph as wild druids in Pathfinder get a shapeshifter quite early on. The spell they wanted was an 8th level. The partner spell was a 1st. I said no. Additionally, they didn't like sessions in the morning as they always stayed up late and didn't tend to wake up early. In the first session, also planned for the morning as it was the 5th try and that was the only schedule free. Another player had work at 12 p.m. and we started at 9 p.m. They were on time. However, about an hour into the session, they fell asleep completely. Their partner called their name and got up to shake them before they woke up. This was the first session I had ever run as a DM, and honestly, it made me feel like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Was I not interesting enough? Was my story not good enough? Was I not including the character enough, etc.? Afterwards, everyone said they had fun, and even when I asked for feedback, in brackets, I don't believe for a second my first game was perfect. Only my girlfriend had any feedback for me, which was to speak up and slow down my explanations/NPC interactions. Am I the arsehole for being upset? Is this normal? If not, what do I do? And then they end it with thanks guys, smiley face.
Look, when we get a submission that says, and then,
yeah,
and then, like,
how many and thens?
You can only do so much.
Yeah.
You can only take so much.
Yeah.
Like the whole like low tech Feywild magic, and then someone coming being like, I'm gonna be an automaton. It's like, we reskinned it so it's fine.
Yeah.
But like, why is that what you got to when we've literally just talked about being low tech?
And I'm assuming they didn't come in with the
idea
of being the wooden statue, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think if they had come in with that idea, it would have been a totally separate situation.
Yeah. And like,
it doesn't sound like it was. I could be getting that wrong though.
Look. What the fuck are they called? Warforged. I was like, what the fuck are they called? They're just called automatons? Warforged are a fucking sick race because the natural armor, you get a stonking armor, you get some good stats in nice places. They're a great race. Loads of people want to be them.
Ways.
They're a good... Did I say ways?
Way.
They're a good...
They were great ways.
Can I be a Warforged?
An automaton.
Look, everyone wants to be. So reskinning is very common.
Yeah, I love that.
Reskinning is amazing.
I really
fine.
love that outcome.
That
truly,
was the best outcome.
Yeah.
So the rest of it,
the being late,
the asking for an 8th level spell.
Yeah, Listen,
some people maybe just don't understand how the game works.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, it doesn't say that there's any new players. It says that they've all played together as players before.
Yeah.
This is just. I burped. Sorry.
That could have been a miscommunication. We'll let that one slide.
But
the next stuff.
Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. 100%
yeah,
no.
and like you aren't wrong for not wanting somebody to have an 8th level spell at the beginning of the
game. Oh my
game.
god, 100% no.
Like that's out fucking rageous to want.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
Yeah, and then they don't like the sessions in the morning. This is such a hard one.
This is such a hard one. But just
this
because
is such a hard one because everyone has different schedules, and I understand
everyone
that.
has a different life. Like,
Yeah.
like me and Margaret are sort of sit in the middle of this.
Yeah, we do.
Because we have friends like Matthew, who's up at like 6
Yeah.
to go to the gym.
Goes to
and then
sleep
we
at
have
like 11.
we have people like Josh who do get up later because he works like jobs at bars, which require him to work late.
Josh kind of goes to sleep like at 6 and wakes up
Yeah,
at
at like 1,
it's,
2.
I mean, it's none of our business to explain Josh's sleeping pattern.
No.
I don't think Josh cares.
But Josh won't care. But like he is at the other end of the spectrum. Then you've
Yeah.
got me and Margaret who go to sleep at like 2, 3 in the morning and get up at like 10 or 11.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I'm a firm believer of like the world wants to paint a picture of people who wake up late being lazy.
Yeah,
I don't. That's simply not the case.
Just not the fucking case.
Like, we all have the same hours in the day. It doesn't matter when you do it.
It doesn't matter when you work. Not even as long as you work. It doesn't fucking matter.
It doesn't matter.
Like, literally doesn't
You're
matter
not
at all.
any less of a person because
you
don't
wake up
conform
at
to the
5 o'clock.
9 to. Yeah, exactly.
They want you to believe you're less of a person.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of people in this world who aren't the corporations who've been conditioned to be like that.
Yeah, totally.
And to be honest, it's not even their fault either because they've been told that they're right and they're correct and they're like living the perfect lifestyle because they're getting up at fucking X o'clock in the morning.
It's like, oh, doggy did the sit. Oh, good doggy. It's kind of like one of those situations, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of beside the point. So I am more inclined to be more empathetic to people.
I'm lenient about that.
I am as well. However, the group has already decided on this. The what is that? That orange thing there. Is that a chocolate mel? What is that? On the table. What is that?
That's shampoo.
Man, I thought it was Chocomel.
I can get you some Chocomel later.
Oh,
I can get you some Chocomel.
Oh, I thought it was Chocomel.
I saw you get so distracted.
I know, sorry. me, not me getting distracted about chocolate milk. Is that chocolate milk?
Is that chocolate milk?
Sorry.
Jack, is that chocolate milk?
I'm so sorry.
That is so funny. Sorry, go on.
I am more inclined
if we've agreed.
Yeah, which everyone has.
Yeah.
Everyone has agreed. Everyone has busy schedules. I get it. Like, if you've all prior agreed to it, it's not fair.
You've got to make the time.
You have to make the time.
If
it's something you want to do,
Yeah.
you've all agreed, you have to make the
to
time.
do it. Like, just like either don't agree or do it.
Yeah, completely.
Like,
totally.
they're the chances. Like, if you say the chances,
the
chances and choices. If you've said, okay, yes, that time is good, then you've got to turn up at that time.
I agree.
Like,
yeah, I completely agree.
Like, don't agree to it if you're not going to do it.
Yeah, I'm also a firm believer of if you want to do something, you're going to try and make the time. I'm not saying that if you want to do something, you're going to do it. I know it's not as black and white as that.
Yeah, it's not as easy as that. Sadly.
If you want to do something, you're going to at least try.
You're going to try, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then for them to come and granted, yeah, okay, they got up and they came, but then they fell asleep. I understand how that feels really bad.
Look, and somebody falling asleep at your first session,
bad. So bad.
Like, look, when you Dungeon Master for the first time, you are putting yourself in a vulnerable position.
Yes,
you
totally.
are, because, you're running the session. You are the one that creates the content for the session and what everyone's going to do. And people are better at different things. You might be like, I'm really great at the roleplay, but I'm shit at the combat, so I'm really worried about the combat. And if somebody falls asleep in the combat, of course that's going to...
Of course it is.
That compounds those feelings.
Yeah, of course it is.
Of course it does. So, look, feeling like this is natural when somebody does that.
Totally. Feeling the feelings of, was it interesting enough? Was my story not good enough? I promise you, they just fell asleep because they had to get up early to come to your game.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with you.
I
promise you, nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not rude. It is still rude. It's still rude and it's still bad, but nothing to do with you. And this is just a really tough situation. First of all, you are not the arsehole.
You are not an arsehole.
First of all, you're not. And
I think this person and your group just do not seem to fit.
Agreed.
And it's nothing to do with maybe the way they play, the style of play, their temperament at the table, their behavior at the table, their lifestyle maybe just doesn't fit with yours.
And that's totally fine.
And that's just the way of the world.
I think, OP, kind of what you've said here, like they fell asleep and now I'm wondering all these things.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a conversation with them. You have to, and sorry, I know this isn't advice, right? But it skirts the line. I feel.
I think it's this one. Yeah, this one does. Yeah.
Like you should have a conversation with them and tell them honestly how you feel and what's going on. And
I agree.
Kind of take some of what we said, saying we understand that not everyone's schedules align with each other. Like, is this something you want to do? To get onto the other part about, I asked for feedback and no one gave me it, apart from my girlfriend. And then also, like, I made it clear that I want this to be like a joint story building world. Sometimes your players, doesn't mean they're not interested. Sometimes they just don't. It's not a priority to them to do those things.
And also, this is something that is like very clear, and we've had to remind ourselves of this many a times. Just because we're humans, right? And we do be humaning, and we do be having thoughts. Because you've said out loud, I need some feedback after the session to make sure everybody liked it, so I can, know how I feel. Like, because you're the dungeon master and you're waiting for that, you are like hyper aware that you've said that out loud.
Oh my god, 100%.
To your players, they're making a character, they're finally turned up, somebody's fallen asleep at the session, they've probably, worried about their character voice, how the character acts, all of their stuff.
Yeah.
That thing that you said is not at the forefront of their mind.
Yeah, and they've had to then go home, and then they have to do whatever adult stuff they have to do when they go home.
Let the dog out, take the dog to the vet. The dog had a panic attack like mine, I think. So a gentle reminder of that.
Yeah.
And going to them and be like, did you enjoy the session? They might have just forgotten.
Yeah, totally.
But I do that because I'm like, well, I said it. And Margaret's like, fucking hell, Jack, you said that 3 weeks ago. How would you think everyone's going to remember? And I'm like, well, I said it. And it's like, that's because that's at the forefront of your mind.
Exactly.
That's because that's here for you.
Yeah,
but for everybody else...
Exactly. And that's nothing personal against you.
There's nothing personal against you.
Like, I guess you kind of ask, is this normal? Like, am I the arsehole for being upset? No, you're not the arsehole for being upset.
Fucking yes.
And
of course it's normal.
To be honest, like...
100%.
I think if you're asking, is this behavior normal from the other player? No, not really.
No.
But at the same time, yeah, I guess.
So I thought you were talking about yourself. Is this behavior normal?
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, my God. Like, totally normal to think those feelings.
I just want you to understand the way you are feeling is so fucking normal.
Oh, my God. 100%.
So normal.
100%.
Like that. I've had it a million times. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm a great... I know I'm quite a good dungeon master.
No, you are. You're a great DM.
After years and years of doing it, it's like I can probably understand that I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah, you are.
Even I have I'm shit. I'm terrible.
Of course.
That wasn't very good.
That's just being a human.
That's just being a human.
Yep, that's being alive.
And trust me. If you just ask them, they'll give you the feedback. I promise you. Just remind them.
Totally.
This person's behavior. Look, sometimes our fucking lives just don't align. And that's not anyone's problem. Turning up and falling asleep, it's still a bit disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. And I just think just talk to him.
I think just talk to them.
Just talk to him.
You're not an asshole though.
No.
And the way you're feeling is normal.
Yeah.
So just get that settled in your mind.
Yes. So thank you, OP. Thank you so much for your submission. And you're not the asshole.
You're not the asshole.
You're not the asshole.
Come on, baby.
No, you're not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Should I edit in a weird sound when I do that? I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, it's like, Margaret, Margaret, do that extra work in the editing. I'm sure you'll really, really want to do.
No way, Jose.
I love how the community has just come to accept when Margaret's like,
I'll do this, and
here.
everyone's like,
Margaret.
Margaret.
Oh, Margaret.
to be fair, I've gotten much better at it.
You have.
Not good, though.
But you do a great job.
Thank you.
And we appreciate
Thank you so much. I appreciate you,
we
too.
We appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you do.
And now it's just funny. Margaret went for a toilet break.
I went to the toilet, and I just took a really big drink. I should have taken a breath before I clapped us back in.
Number 6.
Number 6. This has been sent in by Strahd's Advocate, and he goes by he, him.
Strahd's Advocate. Very good.
So, am I the asshole for convincing the party to go to accept Strahd's dinner invite with actual persuasion after the fighter failed to roll persuasion on everyone but me? So, I'm playing Curse of Strahd. Listen, anyone who played season 1 of Dragonflight, when you see COS written down, do you think Curse...
I think Caught Stars.
Caught Stars, because that's all I think of.
Caught Stars, yeah.
Curse of Strahd, when our fighter got charmed by Strahd to join him at Castle Ravenloft for a dinner. But then he then tried to roll persuasion to convince the rest of the party to go, but only I rolled low enough for him to convince. Deciding that was the end of it, the fighter decided to let it go. But as my character was convinced, he tried to make an attempt as well. I then explained to the party that the only bad things we ever heard about Strahd were from shady sources that we didn't fully trust, and maybe we should meet him and decide for ourselves. Everyone else agreed with my take, and we decided that we would go to the dinner when it was hosted.
Cool. Yeah.
The fighter, however, was unhappy with this because he already tried and failed to convince the party, and I stole his spotlight.
But you failed. There's no spotlight to steal because you already failed. I get it. You tried something, and this was the only person that failed, so they were going to come, but then they gave it a try because you persuaded them.
And there wasn't like a persuasion roll included. The party just decided, oh yeah, actually, yeah, all right, I like that argument.
There was a persuasion roll. Oh no, there wasn't.
There wasn't. So when Strahd's advocate said it, the party were just like, oh, I mean,
that's that's not up to you. That would be the dungeon master to call a persuasion check.
See,
so
like this is a really weird one, and we spoke about this a little while ago. Can't remember what episode in. We were talking about persuasion, right?
Was it 69? Huh?
Where I always pick high charismatic characters because I like to just physically talk to people a lot. I like to talk to NPCs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I necessarily like to be the face of the party, but I like to talk a lot.
Yeah, you like to talk.
Love talking. And I said sometimes there's things where Rayla just made a good argument and people were like, yeah, fair enough. But sometimes there was a persuasion roll included.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, does it matter what I say? Does it matter what Rayla says? It could be the most convincing argument in the world in terms of like what she's saying, but if she rolls bad, do the words count? And I feel like it's such a grey area. And this is where this has come in, right?
But like, if you're trying to persuade me as an NPC or an enemy or something like that, then I think like, first of all, if I disagree with you, it's going to require a roll. Yeah. If I already agree with you as an NPC and you just say something like very charismatic and very good, like, well, what's the point in the roll? Because you don't need the roll. The roll isn't going to do anything because I already agree with you. But so this is weird because basically it's like one rule applies to one person, but it doesn't to the other. So it's like if the dungeon master has called for the fighter to make a roll.
Yes.
Is that what's happened?
Yeah. So what happened was Strahd charmed the fighter to be like, join me at Castle Ravenloft for a dinner. And then because the fighter was charmed, had to make a persuasion roll to try and convince the party to go.
Okay.
Everyone failed apart from OP. Then
everyone succeeded apart from OP.
Yes. And then OP's character was just like, this is a great idea. We should go because of XYZ. And then the party were like, yeah, all right. Yeah, that's a good idea. We should go. It's a hard one. It's like, a really hard one.
Is this person asking if they're the asshole?
Yes.
No.
No.
Literally nothing to do with you.
No.
Like you just said something and they all agreed with it. Sometimes that can just happen.
Sometimes that just happens. Sometimes you just articulate things in a way. And it's weird having to do a persuasion check against the party, but only had to make the persuasion check because they were charmed by the bad guy.
But like, who makes up the DC?
Yeah.
Like, does the player make up the DC?
I know. Or do they just have to meet...
Does the dungeon master say, you all...
Do they have to meet, like, the fighter's DC? Or
is it an insight check?
Yeah.
Because then why are you rolling persuasion?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. It's such a grey line.
It's such a grey line.
Technically, did only the fighter have to make the roll because they were charmed?
But then...
Would there be no roll if they weren't charmed, and that's why then OP's character wasn't?
Because it would have just been roleplay.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I get it, but... It's such a fucking
This is a
one.
really hard one.
Like, if it was me, I would have then, but this is only fucking hindsight and me giving my opinion. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I would have done. It doesn't really fucking matter because I've got the hindsight. And
yeah,
like,
it's already
like
happened
that.
and been gone.
But maybe
yeah.
what could have been a better situation would have been like, okay, everyone had to roll against the fighter, and then let's just say but the fighter rolled a persuasion check.
Mm-hmm.
So then what do you mean I was the only one that failed? So then obviously everyone had to make either insight checks. That's the only way you can fail it.
Failed to roll persuasion on everyone but me.
So there must have been a counter roll.
Yeah, there had to.
So then maybe you could have been like, okay, roll a persuasion check with advantage, with advantage because of the fighter, and everyone roll with disadvantage or something like that.
Yeah,
but the thing is, if all the characters already want to do it, then why are we rolling?
Yeah, it's a really weird situation, and you know what? I do understand from the fighter's perspective, but then again, the fighter was charmed to do it. Like, surely this is a detriment to the party going to have a meal with Strahd.
Well, you don't know.
Well, you don't know, I suppose.
Because you could scheme. Like, when we're in there, let's look.
True. Like,
I don't know. This is a really weird one. You're not the asshole.
No. I don't think. I don't think anyone's the asshole here.
Dungeon Master's
no.
Not really the asshole.
I understand where the fighter's coming from. Being
Tell
like,
who's the asshole here. Strahd.
Yeah, but he's hot.
But he's sexy.
But he's so sexy.
But he's such a sexy vampire.
Oh.
Literally no one's the asshole here.
Yeah, I feel like this is such a grey area.
Look,
and
I understand why your feelings are hurt, fighter.
Yeah, and OP, I don't think... unless you were intentionally trying to steal the spotlight, which I can't speak for if you do. I don't
know if there was a spotlight to steal.
Yeah, I feel like it's that feeling of someone says something that everyone's like, meh. Then someone says it better, and everyone's like, yeah,
that's a great idea.
Yeah, I understand how that would suck.
I understand how that, but it's not this person's fault.
Yeah, no, no, my God, no, totally not.
That's just the fucking will of the dice.
Yeah,
baby.
what a weird one.
That's such a weird one.
What a weird one.
That's weird.
Yeah. Thank you, Strahd's advocate.
That's a great.
What do you guys think?
What do you all think?
What do you reckon about that?
What do you all think? That's a complicated one.
That is a complicated
one.
And if
you have a different opinion, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Because this is weird.
Oh, thank you so much, Strahd's advocate. Thank you,
Strahd's advocate, for your submission.
Thank you.
Yeah. You listening to me? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, this next one this has been sent in by Katie, and she goes by she, her.
Thank you so much, Katie.
Thank you, Katie.
Submission.
It was my first time DMing from a group of really close friends and one other person. This other person, we'll call him Oscar, was a co-worker of one of the members of the group. Important fact, Oscar is a high-functioning autistic person and has a hard time reading into other people's emotions. Mm-hmm. We started playing and had been going for 3 to 4 sessions when one of my players pulled me aside and expressed that he was having an issue with Oscar. Mm-hmm. He said that Oscar was constantly cutting him off when he tried to speak and was essentially acting like the main character. I hadn't noticed this behavior because our group was so large and I was extremely nervous since it was my first time DMing. But during the session, I paid attention and I realized he was right about Oscar. After the game, I pulled Oscar to the side and politely asked him to share the spotlight with his fellow party members. He said he understood and he would do his best. The next several sessions, he continued his main character behavior to the point where 2 additional members of the party spoke with me about how upset it made them. I didn't have the heart to kick Oscar out of the group because he was a nice person and wasn't acting that way out of malice. So I told Oscar that the pressure got to be too much for me, so I decided to disband the party altogether. He took it very well and he wished me luck. Disbanding the party was a lie that I only told him to spare his feelings, and my friends and I continued to play without him, but we started a new campaign. So am I the asshole?
Yes.
Katie.
I'm so sorry you are.
Yeah.
You are.
Like, hey, we've all been here.
Look, we've been here.
We have all been here.
We've been here.
We have been here.
We've done this.
We've done this.
We've done this.
And it felt
terrible.
Bad.
Terrible.
At the time, we felt we were justified in it. At the time, we were like, yeah, this is great. Things like this weigh so heavy on you.
So heavy.
And
so heavy that you put a submission into a podcast.
Yeah. Like
and look, and I say, yes, you're the asshole. It's not as simple as that, because when we did it, it was because the people that we were playing with were so fucking hard to play with.
Yeah.
So hard to play with.
Yeah, and again, it was close friends that we had a hard time telling. Now, did we save their feelings? Yeah?
They don't know.
Was it worth it?
No.
No, it wasn't. It was not worth it. I think about it regularly.
The guilt.
It's guilt, and we sit here on this podcast, right, and we try to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be, and we not only on this podcast, in our everyday lives. This is something we did only a few years ago.
Yeah, it was,
and that was
3 years ago now.
Yeah, and that was asshole behavior of
course
us.
it was, and this is the thing. You make mistakes in life,
of course,
and you learn from them, and you get better from them, and you analyze them, and you think about them, and that was not the right thing to do.
No, it wasn't.
Telling Oscar, either you tell Oscar truthfully, or you are honest about what the crack is.
That's it, and it's so hard.
And it's so
hard to be honest, especially like you say, he isn't doing it out of malice.
He's not doing it, yeah.
But these things weigh heavy on you, and you're always going to be worried that Oscar's going to find out. What happens if Oscar finds out? How bad is that going to feel?
Was there another way to handle this?
Yes.
Then we should have probably done that.
Yeah.
We should have probably just found a way to tell Oscar in the moment, or let Oscar know in the moment, that they were being the main character.
Yeah.
And they were hogging the spotlight.
It's so hard. And hey, I don't necessarily think kicking Oscar out of the group was the wrong decision. I think potentially, the way I would have done it was have another chat, a serious chat,
and if it wasn't working,
and say if things don't change, then we're gonna have to do something else.
Yeah.
And then at that point, remove Oscar from the group if nothing changed.
Yeah.
But not telling him and not being honest to try and save. Let's face it. Let's try and save the confrontation of it.
Yeah.
Which I get.
The fallout of it
sucks. Confrontation's horrible.
Yeah.
And having to be the bad guy is horrible. But sometimes it has to be done.
It has to be
done. You'll come out the other side of
feeling better.
Feeling better for it.
100%.
And I'm so sorry, Katie, to say this, but it sucks. And take that from people who have been here,
who've done literally this,
done exactly the
same thing to people that we used to play with that were just fucking hard to play with.
Yeah,
and we saved ourselves the conflict.
We were cowards about it.
We were cowards about it,
and it feels bad.
And we wish we'd never done it, and we would never do it again. We would just either try and deal with the problem.
And to be honest, I think in a lot of ways that guilt that they don't know about it, but the guilt that we have has pushed us further away from them as people anyway.
Yeah.
There's obviously other factors in it, but do you know what I mean? The guilt feels bad, and then you're always worrying, and it's that thing of a secret, secrets weigh you down.
Yeah, they do. I agree completely.
Oh, I'm sorry, Katie.
I'm sorry, Katie.
I'm sorry. That's that.
Because it isn't. It's just such a tough position to be in.
It is.
You're trying to save Oscar's feelings, but by saving Oscar's feelings now, you might just damage them way more down the line.
Totally. And I just think being honest and open and not being nasty, I think people are so scared of having these conversations because sometimes they end up in conflict, right?
Sometimes they end up, yeah.
And especially Katie, and I'm not trying to speak for you. As a woman, I know that conflict like this, having conversations like this with you as a woman always comes down to you being a bitch in the end, right? Yeah. And it's horrible and it's awful, and we're used to as women having to navigate this whole thing, but it's the fact that you put in a submission wondering
just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you're an asshole.
Oh my god, 100%.
So you know,
this is definitely asshole behavior, but
that doesn't mean you're a terrible person.
I understand why you did it, and we've done it. We've done it. I'm sorry,
assholes?
Katie. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely were in that instance.
Definitely,
but it doesn't mean we are just in general now.
And we try really hard. We will never put ourselves in that position ever again.
No,
we will just tell people.
We will just be honest with people.
Totally.
Yeah. Sorry,
Katie.
You had to hear that.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You came to us for our opinion.
Yeah, and I hope that it's worked out, and I'm glad that you're having a better time.
Yeah.
But I think you should have been honest with him.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, this last one.
This
has been sent in by DM. Oh, I didn't say that it was the penultimate. This is the ultimate. This is the last one.
The Eldritch Podblast Ultimate.
What is it?
I'm going to use my ultimate.
What's the ultimate? Oh, got you.
You don't want any more of that smoke.
No.
You don't want any of that heat.
All right, this has been sent in by DMGoodie, and he goes by he, him.
Thank you, DMGoodie,
Thank you,
for your submission.
DMGoodie.
Sorry, my dog just walked around the corner and looked at me, and he's really handsome.
Oh, he's so handsome.
And he's getting really impatient.
So, hello to you both. Before I start, I love the podcast and I enjoy watching on YouTube.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for watching.
I am not sure if I'm the arsehole, but I wanted to get an outside idea on this. So, am I the arsehole for asking a player to leave because they won't let go of their character? I know this sounds bad, but hear me out.
I will.
I am a DM of a group of normally 4 players, he, she's, and theys. We play D&D 5e Homebrew World, and we are very attached to our characters. But we all agreed in Session 0 that we are okay with character deaths being permanent if the players do not have the means to bring them back. I do leave the door open for an agreed amount of time to allow the other players to help tie up loose ends that the character story leads down later the line, but we all agreed on this, and we all knew the risk. We recently invited someone new to our group and we'll call them K, she, her. We had a new Session 0 where we explained how we played the game. We added her information to the safety tool sheet for what is and isn't allowed and made sure she understood. She was totally okay with it, and if she forgot something, she would just ask for a reminder on all of this information. No biggie. And we were all happy to help. After about 15 sessions with her as part of the team, things were going perfectly and she was an amazing player. But she messed up in a battle, taking on way more than her character could handle, and made it really hard for anyone with healing spells to heal her. We had stopped the game several times to warn her. We didn't beat around the bush, but she would come back, get a little healing, and then run back in. She was surrounded and her character was killed and failed all of her death saving throws.
Oh dear.
They couldn't get back to her body to use Revivify in time, and it took too long to get her back to the city where an ally the party had made before, an NPC with Reincarnate, to be of help. All of the players knew of this NPC's limits early on, including her. We held a respectful funeral for her character and ended the session. But she went crazy, going for me verbally for not breaking the rules to bring her character back. We managed to talk her down, but after this outburst, I told her she may need to leave the group if this is her reaction to losing a character like this, after she agreed to being okay with this in Session 0. She stormed out and screamed she would never be back. But then in the local area, she and her friends came to threaten me, but thanks to my other players, they backed down. So was I the arsehole for asking her to leave the group? What do you mean?
Wrong with people?
Her friends in the area came to threaten you.
Her and the posse.
Yeah, her and a gang.
Her and the gang.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is wrong
what
with
the
you?
fuck?
Jesus Christ.
I didn't read that last bit about the friends coming to threaten.
Right.
First of all, let's not verbally or physically threaten anyone.
Ever.
Ever. Like,
How
full
about that?
stop.
What about we just didn't?
Yeah, we've all been there. We've all been there.
Look, it happens.
It's not cool.
It's not cool.
It's not cool.
So,
Now.
look, if you come to a game and they say very fucking clearly, like super clear as day, if your character dies, your character's dead.
Yeah. And you had a Session 0, then a re-Session 0 as well.
About this, and it was brought up and you said, I'm more than okay with that, then you have literally no right to do this.
And like the thing is, people change their minds and I get it, but there's a way in that moment to not absolutely lose her shit and yell and verbally yell at you and be like, why did you not bend the rules? Like, I understand people can change their minds, and in the moment it's scary and it feels and like
you grow attached to characters. Look, we get it.
We totally get it.
Here on the Eldritch Podblast, we understand
how
much
God,
characters
totally.
made people.
And I even after all of that in the Session 0 stuff, like I think you should respect it, but I do understand after the fact coming to the DM and saying like, can we work something out?
Yeah.
Like is there something we can do?
But
I get that.
Is different to verbally abusing your dungeon master.
And getting your fucking friends to go and threaten him.
If after the session, everything's said and done, you go home and you say to your dungeon master, can we have a little chat? And they say, yeah, sure, what's going on?
You don't go, you fucking kill my
and
character. Why didn't you bend the fucking rules?
And then you go, is there a way that we could possibly go on a mission, find an item, pray to a god, any of these things, to bring my character back.
Like, I understand that and I understand that it could be a no because I agreed, but you know, it felt bad, and
I've grown really attached to this character, and I would really like them to see the end of the journey, even if they could come back and die at the end.
Totally. Maybe I didn't realize how attached I would get to the character. Yeah. There's ways of having this conversation.
Yeah, and like you should say that. Like, I got more attached than I thought, and I was okay with it at the beginning, but I've realized that I'm not okay with it now. And
also being like, but I realize this is the rule, so it's okay if not. Yeah. But I thought I'd ask. But then
but instead, what you did was you verbally abused them.
Yep.
Stormed out
screaming,
and then got your friends to threaten the dungeon master. You are a fucking coward piece of shit.
That is freak behavior.
That's fucking.
That's absolute freak behavior.
I'm gonna say the English word again.
Go on.
You fucking raged as fuck.
Oh my god, that's pestilent.
You are raged as fuck.
Yeah, DMGoodie. Of course you're not the asshole here.
You set out the fucking rules. You couldn't have been more clear. You couldn't have been more honest. You fucking said it. You even tried to warn them, and it was going bad, and they didn't listen. And then, it's like,
in that situation, right? Obviously, they were upset about losing the character. What the fuck makes them think that acting like that is going to make the DM turn around and be like, okay. Like,
fear, that's what.
Yeah, see, that's it. Like, what
throwing your fucking weight around isn't the way to get what you want.
No, it really, truly isn't.
You're pathetic.
Yeah, that you sting.
You are not the asshole at all.
Not at all. And this is why I'll say it again. It's so important to have session zeros. It's so important.
And, look, there's only so much you can do.
There's only so much you can do.
Have a session zero. You can be clear and honest, and you can be super, super like, this is what we do, this is what we don't do, and if your character dies, that's it. And are you okay with that? Before you sign up to play this game, are you okay with all of this? And they go yes, and it can still go wrong.
You still get some freaks in nature like this.
Sometimes you have just fucking raged people like this, who will just. No matter how easy you make it for them, it'll never be enough.
Unacceptable. That's completely unacceptable behavior.
Terrible.
No, you are absolutely not the asshole.
I don't even think pestilence is enough. This is necrotic vibes.
Oh my god! And don't threaten people.
Don't threaten. Don't get your friends and try and threaten people.
That's just stupid, childish, really scary behavior. Really scary.
Of course it is.
Pathetic. Don't do that.
No.
I'm so sorry, DMGoodie. That sucks. That sucks. And that's it. Well, actually, that's not it. We have one last one, and it literally, someone just sent in a submission saying, hot dog.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll put that in as number 10 down here.
Yeah, number 10, hot dog.
Number 10.
Thank you.
The submission just says...
And it wasn't even...
hot dog.
It wasn't even hot dog. It was H07D0G.
I love it.
Hot dog.
More submissions like this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's it. That's your fill.
That's all.
Wow. Check out our Etsy store.
Yeah.
Hellbound Dice. Link is down below. Code Podblast. Podblast will get you 10% off.
Listen, it's been a while since we've done this. I feel like, I don't know how long this is going to be after editing.
About, 2 hours-ish?
Yeah, this is a longer one where we're obviously out of practice. My throat
hurts so much, I know.
Oh my god. The dog has been so good.
He's been so patient. So but I'm going to go and see him now. Go and buy some merch at www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Join the Discord if you haven't. Like the video. Comment down below. Click the bell to be notified when we upload on a Monday and a Thursday, normally. I'm
not sure if we've hosted a watch party for this, but... maybe like the dog is much better. To be fair, it depends. So if you're in a watch party, thank you so much. If we haven't hosted one, sorry.
But at least we're bringing you the content. We love you very much. Thank you for being so understanding. We're back, baby. We love you.
Yeah,
I love you.
I love you.
Bully loves you.
He does.
We've been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you on Monday.
Bye.